We can resolve the filmmaker's blind spots by first defining the DNA of viewer engagement. Scientific studies have found that the key emotion that drives viewer engagement is interest, and that suspense is the key story structure that increases interest and maximises viewer engagement. Media psychologists Brewer and Lichtenstein found in their studies that suspense was important to viewer engagement. The reason being is that conflict is essential to storytelling, and suspense mediates viewer anxiety concerning a conflict or crisis in the story world. The mediation feature of suspense is produced by compressing time through the intercutting of shots, or by building viewer anxiety gradually over time. Suspense then is crucial to viewer engagement because it mediates conflict across genres, increasing viewer interest and maximising viewer engagement. So we can gain a greater understanding of viewer engagement through an in-depth research study of suspense. I define suspense in terms of cognition, emotion and physiology, and the mediation experience of suspense as a phasic anxiety response. I then defined a framework to measure viewer experiences of suspense by recording their verbal feedback and anxiety responses. I selected horror films for the study because they were more likely to elicit a strong anxiety response. The framework I used to measure viewer anxiety responses was based on the electrical changes in the skin. Anxiety was measured in terms of durability and intensity. I was able to measure viewer anxiety responses to narrative structures and cinematic techniques within millisecond accuracy. 3 different suspense narrative structures were extracted from 8 horror films. Direct suspense in its purest form is when the point of view camera shot is seen in the first person. This enables the viewer to experience suspense directly. Shared suspense is when the viewer empathises for a fictional character. And finally, vicarious suspense is when the viewer has information denied to a fictional character. The film clip duration was then dictated by the length of the suspense narrative structure, which was between 1 and 90 seconds long. I shall now discuss the highlights of the research findings. Vicarious elicited the strongest form of suspense, then shared and direct in terms of anxiety, durability and intensity. Vicarious also produced an even stronger anxiety response when synchronised with direct or shared suspense. However, the strength of viewer anxiety responses was also dependent on how cinematic techniques constructed suspense. Two core themes based on cinematic storytelling were identified in the study concerning how suspense was constructed. Number 1. Identifying the right balance between concealing, delaying and revealing story information. And 2. The construction of empathy with fictional characters. The main outcome of the research study is an evidence-based model of suspense which aligns cinematic storytelling with viewer engagement.